Welcome back to the Ultra Reviewer, where we discuss all things Ultraman. If you haven't already, do watch the first part of this review. I'll put a link under the description. Now, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Ultraman Nexus, an almost perfect series, Part 2. So let's get into what made the series so exceptional. To begin with, Ultraman Nexus was a show that avoided many of the old pattern signatures to the franchise in order to do its own thing. As I briefly mentioned in my video about the Ultraman Gaia series, almost every Ultraman series up till the second generation or Heisei era of Ultras follow a certain format that would normally begin with the main character somehow finding the power of Ultra, or vice versa, transforming and battling aliens and monsters for a good 50 plus episodes, each episode being a new story, having a close death encounter at the finale, and through some means rising again victorious. The most notable change that stood out to me was the fact that the human host, or in this series, Dunamis, was not the main character. The story centers around Komon, even though Himeya and Ren are the Ultramen in all but the final episode. Therefore, the story is required to give focus to a leading role who's not the hero, as well as the supporting roles who are.
お前は絶望の淵から何度も立ち上がった。だから俺も戦えた。
負けるなコモン。俺もコモンのおかげで最後まで戦えた。ウルトラマンとして。
The next best thing, in my opinion, is that the storyline was not just mysterious, but events blend and proceed seamlessly from one to the next. The mystery element of the story is something I'll discuss later on, but the reason why a story that has a smooth continuation from episode to episode is so admirable is because in many other shows, this aspect is never given the priority it deserves. In some Ultraman series, like Gaia and Mabius, there was some level of continuity through the storyline, but never done in this style. Quite typically, in all other Ultra shows, each episode would end with the Ultraman killing the monster or alien, or defeating any other threat, and fly off to the sun, signifying the end of the story. But Ultraman Nexus, the series, doesn't adhere to that. More often than not, the hero would appear in the middle of the episode and may succeed or fail at defeating the threat at hand. Often, when the heroes are battling more than one opponent simultaneously, or facing any other seemingly overwhelming odds, such as when Nexus faces off a Dark Ultra and Space Beast together. It is clear that the timing of Nexus' appearance and the state he appears in are less convenient than it usually is in other shows of the franchise.
忠告しようと思ってね。君の体はもう変身には耐えられないよ。ダメージの蓄積は想像以上だったんだ。今度その体で戦えば本当に死ぬかもしれない。
As great as the show really is, it's not completely without faults, however. For one of its most gaping shortcomings, many other critics have highlighted the finale as the show's greatest weakness. It has been often said that the problem with the ending was that it was too short and abrupt. Personally, I think the failure of this aspect was due to the lack of a thorough explanation of the plot, which could have been fixed by adding an extra episode to flesh out the events and build up leading up to the ending. Although many mysteries were addressed, there is nevertheless a shortage of answers, and some of those that are provided are not too satisfactory. For instance, how did Dark Zagi predict that Nagi would receive the light, which was a vital part of his plan? Why did Dark Zagi lose his original form, which was the very reason the story began? Or even a clear explanation of the use of the space beast to achieve his goal. Although there is some level of explanation in the finale, it leaves most viewers really confused and forces us to fill in a lot of gaps that might be incorrect if not understood properly.
伝えるんだ。
我々は自らの手で故郷の星を爆破した。
Outside of the series, in forums and websites, we do find some of the answers we are looking for. For instance, the origin of the antagonist and the hero himself to begin with. However, it is still a little disappointing that they were not available in the show. I'll place a link down in the description that explains how Ultraman Nexus and Dark Zagi came to be. Even in terms of closure, there's not really any explanation as to what happens to Ultraman Nexus after the show. Does he remain in Komon and will rise again when necessary? Or has he left this Earth to protect other Earths and universes? As it has been confirmed that there is a multiverse in the Ultraman universe. We are left without answers to very fundamental questions like these. This just goes to show how messy the finale was, which is truly a pity, seeing that the build-up and storylines were fantastic.
その話、今後一切口にするな。
What's important to note though is that the series was cut short due to negative ratings, which is likely the main reason we had a poor ending to the show. In our next and final video, I'll share some things that could have been done that would have made the series a true hit, and a slight discussion on how the element of mystery was used in the show.
最後の文章。ラファエルって何なの？
大天使の名前。
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in today's video, and if you have any requests for future videos, do place them down at the comments. And I appreciate feedback to bring better quality videos to you guys in the future.